Yo, yo, yo.
Howdy ho.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, all you bullshitters out there? Welcome to I'm a Little Buzzed. It's Thursday night, people. And as usual, this is a show where we bring a little life to business, all while sharing a glass of whatever makes you happy. What makes you happy tonight, fellas?
What makes me happy every night? Empathy, red.
I've got a little.
You got it, Rob?
So good.
It's a Chardonnay from Point of the Bluff Vineyards in the Finger Lakes, 2017.
Okay.
Ooh, vino.
Temperature's up. It's feeling a little summery.
It is. Yeah. Thank God for 70-degree weather in upstate New York. It's great.
It's almost June. It's about time.
Yeah, seriously. Welcome, everybody. It's John, Al, and Rob. We're the founders of NoBull 2020, presented by Bankers Healthcare Group, happening this September 17th, Syracuse, New York. We hope you are all sharing a glass of whatever makes you happy out there as we dive into yet another live episode of I'm a Little Buzzed. We got a great show. Super pumped. For those of you that haven't been watching before, we have 3 shows a week. Sundays is a wild card show. Anything can happen, fellas, right? We give away prizes. We answer weird ass questions. Sometimes we have games. Really, really awesome stuff. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a guest who has done something great, built something great, and has some advice and a story to tell the world. So it's going to be a great show. But before we do that, Al, let's get into some announcements.
You're right. So as you know, every week, every episode, we have a sponsor, an episode sponsor that I usually make up. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's up to you to figure out if it's made up or if it's not. This episode sponsor is Martha Stewart's Quarantine Living magazine, featuring articles on house arrest made easy and shelter-in-place stock tips of the week. So could be real, could not be real. You look it up. The next big important message is always go buy some empathy wines, empathywines.com, using promo code NoBull 2020. If you buy a case of wine, a 12-pack, you will get a free premier seating ticket to NoBull 2020. So that's a big deal. Front section seating, perfect view. If you don't want the wine, which, you know, who doesn't want wine, but that's fine. To each their own. You can go straight to nobull2020.com and get tickets. There's different tiered seating tickets and prices and whatever fits your budget, but you got to be there. You should be there. So as a reminder, go to empathywines.com, get some wine. For the big time ballers out there that want to buy a shiz ton of wine and also meet and greet our keynote speaker Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know who that is, then just go look him up. But if you want to do a meet and greet, we have a VIP roundtable opportunity for the ballers, for the VIPs. So the way to do that is you buy 20 cases of wine. That equals 240 bottles of wine. You can burn through that in like a week.
Easy, especially during quarantine.
That's right.
Because you already have.
You do 20 cases of wine for your company, for yourself, for your family, who cares? And then you get 20 free tickets to the event. Again, premier seating, front section seating. It's the best deal that I can think of that's ever existed in the history of the world. So there's that.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely. I'm not dramatic at all. So
no,
I'm not dramatic at all. So get the wine, get the tickets, get there.
Boom. And you know what I forgot to do? Really important part. We forgot to cheers, fellas. God, how could I forget that?
Okay.
So as always, let's do our cheers. Cheers to life, love, lots of laughter, and getting shit off your chest onto paper and into your life as a positive force.
Yes.
Cheers.
Clank.
Sling.
And cheers to all of you out there for listening or watching to the show. Watching first, because this is live, and then listening if you hear this later on our podcast, which is the golden way to listen to this. Bad bear.
Bad bull.
But
no bull.
Bad bull. Yeah. Bad bull. Bad NoBull. NoBull. So today,
We're buzzed already.
we've got a great guest. Yeah, let's get into it. Today we have a great guest. I actually know her from Jackson Jovi, my other business. She's awesome. I can't wait to have her on. We have I'm going to try to say this Italian, Al.
If
So you correct me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Nicole Biscuiti.
Is that it? I think it's Biscuiti. We'll have
Okay,
her-
is the founder of Chestee, the first and only patented sports bra with built-in collarbone protection for athletes. Chestee is a female-owned and operated brand and family business. She co-owns it with her brother Scott. And Chestee was recently featured in the Muscle and Fitness October 2019 cover story worn by WWE,
Wow.
2 W's and an E, star Becky the Man Lynch. Please welcome Chestee inventor and founder, all-around badass business builder, Nicole. How are you?
Hello, and
Welcome, Nicole.
cheers to you.
There it is. Cheers to
Cheers.
life, love, and laughter.
All right, first, how'd we do with your name?
Wow, guys, we need to go back to the drawing board on that one. But
I knew it.
Okay. Okay.
Help us out.
Correct us.
Biscuiti.
Biscuiti. I was the
I'm
closest.
going to tell you my first grade presidential election campaign in its entirety was vote for a cutie, Nicole Biscuiti.
Nailed it.
There it is.
And so now
And
you will
you
never
won, didn't you?
say that name. I did win, but not
Yeah.
because of the campaign, because my mom came in and said that on the hot summer time, once we get into the semester part with summer around the corner, that she's going to bring popsicles to everybody. That happened. So
Oh, not yet. Mom did it.
mom did it, coming in clutch.
With the popsicle. Unfair to everybody else.
You need to look
See ya.
up a comedian
We're in
called.
South Florida, you guys. The heat index is real. So
What is it right now? What temperature is it right now?
right this moment,
Like
it's
ballpark.
high 70s, low 80s.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
It's also 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
You're dripping sweat from from the car, from the parking garage or parking lot to your house, dripping sweat.
Yeah.
It's 73 here tonight in upstate New York, so we'll be there tomorrow.
All
Yeah, I
right.
don't care.
Upstate New York. What about Al? Where are you?
I'm in upstate. Yeah. Syracuse. New
Okay.
York.
Same.
Yeah.
We just make it look like we're in different places, but we're all very close to
We're
each other.
global. We're global.
It's a
You guys
global.
are actually just in different rooms of
Yeah.
the same house. You have different lighting set up,
It's a
Exactly.
frat house.
pink light going on.
Yeah, it's
John's in the garage.
Funny story, Nicole.
By the way, my
Al,
heart
tell
is
him-
in Florida.
Tell them about the Mother's Day episode.
The mo-
Yes, tell me about the Mother's Day
Mother's
episode.
Day
We
episode. That was a
have a
good
drink
episode.
with G&T here.
Yeah, it was our highest rating episode. I think we had 25 people total. They really stayed
Okay.
with it. It was a good for ratings. But my mom was like the special guest. My mom's like a very, she's a unique character, typical Italian mother, and really entertains a crowd.
Yep.
And she was like, I'm nervous. I don't know how to do it. And I was like, okay. So I set her up in my downstairs office. It looked totally different. Everyone was like, oh, Al's mom's in. And then her computer died mid thing. And then I just see her pop up right behind me. So
That is so
Like-
hard.
the magic was, the magic of this was all ruined.
These Zoom calls that are becoming ever so popular everywhere in the world, they need to come with some sort of guideline and perhaps an age suggestion, because we do Biscuiti family happy hour every Friday night, because we're in quarantine, and our mother literally called me like almost in tears trying to figure this out the first time. And then, she has her laptop like this this close to her face, and she's like, "Am I in?" We're like, "You're definitely
You're way in.
We're to you.
Yeah.
You are in there."
My
Yeah.
mom will forget that she's on, and she'll use it as a mirror and like check her teeth and her like she'll
Nope.
forget that there's people there and be like, "Oh, look at me."
Nope.
Mom,
Nope.
back up a little.
No, mom.
She is watching, Al, so be careful.
I know. I'm just busting her.
I mean, my mom's probably watching too if she's figured out how to do so. She will definitely watch the viewing party if she hasn't figured it out tonight.
Oh, nice. Actually, Al, your mom left because she has no sound. So
Well, I can't do tech support for her right now. It's not
tech support. Tech support for mom.
But
She's calling in the Geek Squad. That's what she needs to do.
Now's not the time.
Well, listen, Nicole, thank you so much for being on. We can't wait to dive into the story. But let's start with a little story. Tell us what the Chestee is, and then tell us how you came up with the idea, since it's the one and only.
I'm so glad to be on a podcast with all men to talk about sports bras. Let me tell you.
Let's do it.
Really, just this is my wheelhouse audience right here. So you guys,
95% guys watching. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually more women that watch.
I know.
Well, that's good because we're getting all up in there talking about boobs. But
Boob it up.
Boob it up. Hey, the Chestee kind of came out of a complete happenstance. I used to be, before I was a business owner, and had time to live in the gym 6 hours a day. I was a highly competitive CrossFit athlete. I was competing in one of I've been involved in Wadapalooza actually since the very first year. And I came up with the concept mid-competition. The workout was a 20-minute workout that called for, you had to hold the bar in front rack and do basically jerks from the rack. And at the time I weighed 145 pounds, the barbell had 145 pounds on it. So already I was like, okay, like shit just got real. And
heavy.
I'm lifting
real heavy
myself.
So, and of course, this is Miami, Florida. This is Bayfront Park. It's on the bay. It's beautiful, but it's also 90 degrees outside. And all of these brand new barbells with knurling like a cheese grater have also been baking in the sun for 8 hours. So as soon as I took that and touched it to my skin, I was like, oh, this is not happening for 20 minutes. So I actually ended up taking my shirt off and I stuffed my shirt into the straps of my sports bra to kind of like create basically a backward cape, if you will, like a makeshift barrier. And that is literally my aha moment when the light bulb went off. I finished my workout. That was a Saturday. I went into the gym the following Monday and I cut a pair of knee sleeves in half, sewed them into a surfer's rash guard. And that was the first prototype. That was 7.5 years ago.
Wow,
that's awesome. I love the like DIY aspect of not only starting like your business, but like any business that starts that way, where they're like, oh, here's that problem. Let me just go see if I can make it myself. And then I think that's how like this Spanx was created, right? Didn't she?
Sarah Blakely is like one of my boss, I don't know, icons. Like I love everything that she has done. And yes, that's exactly how she started, or at least that's how she tells her story. She was in Atlanta, Georgia. She was selling door to door. It was real hot. And she had to wear pantyhose because she liked the slimming effect that the pantyhose had, but didn't like the grandma aesthetic of it, that you can see pantyhose at your ankles. So she simply cut the feet off. And she was like, cool, no one knows. They're underneath my pants, but you don't know that. And that's my kind of synopsis of her story. I think it's great.
Yeah, let's just turn this into $1 billion company.
Right, low key, casual.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. So, I mean, that takes an incredible amount of awareness, I guess, right? To just even think about, this problem I have of the bar like smashing into my chest and it being hot. So I'm going to go and fix it and make this thing. And then, more people would want this thing. Right. So I've been in entrepreneurship for a while, and that's a gift, whether it's DNA or you gain it through, upbringing or whatever, that is definitely a gift to be able to recognize that and turn it into what you have. So kudos to that for sure. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very interesting road. And I had a lot of mentors early on tell me, whatever you think your product is going to be initially is absolutely not what it will be. And I was like, that is bullshit. I know exactly what it's going to be. And they were all right. And I was wrong, because the first iteration of what I released was actually a shirt. It was a padded shirt that had like padding along the neckline. And what I sell today is a very structured, high impact sports bra. And we kind of went through the evolution of that over the last 6.5 years. Actually, I have a very funny story about how we got there too. I only had enough money for 3 styles of t-shirts. And somehow I thought it was a good idea to not do, classic black, but I did all 3 styles in a different jewel tone. It was like Barbie threw up inside the closet. It was purple, it was teal, and it was hot pink. And if you didn't like one of those colors, well, sorry for you. But
listen, Seth Godin says to purple cow, right? You need to create a purple cow. You just created an off jewel cow.
Yes. And the funny thing is, the skimpiest one sold the best. And then when I called every customer, because it's not like I had a lot of them to go through the Rolodex of customers to get feedback. So I always talk to everyone. And the ones who bought this particular, like the skimpy style, I call it, every single one of them said to me, I really love it, but it just really doesn't have a lot of support. And I'm like, well, you're wearing a sports bra underneath, right? Dead silence. Every single one that I talked to them, and every single one said, oh, I thought this was a sports bra. So that was my next aha moment. I'm like, okay, well then I'll just make sports bras if that's what you want. But I didn't know that at the time. They were just wearing the shirt like all loosey goosey working out. I'm like, oh wow, okay, well we need to like fix that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how uncomfortable are you guys talking about boobs? Are we there yet, or do we need another drink?
Oh, not at all.
Great, I'm
not
super
at all.
comfortable.
Not even
we've
close.
already had a couple bottles already, so we're good.
I feel great.
Well, I feel like I was invited to the party late, so I have some catching up to do.
You better catch up for sure. Well, listen, you said you told us in pre-interview that you run this out of your 2-bedroom apartment still, and you're shipping approximately 500 units a month. I geek out over that. Like, it's amazing. And I use Amazon as like a large scale example of like the mindset of staying small for as long as you can. I can't pull the exact quote from Jeff Bezos. I forget what it is, but even if, you're shipping 500 units, I'm sure you could make the decision, however, you made it would make it to go into an office, because now you have an office and you get to tell people you have an office and you get to bring them by the office and things like that. Right. But staying small allows more flexibility. Bezos, they still have like doors as their desks, because instead of spending money on desks, even when they had a bunch of millions of dollars in funding, they could have bought desks. He's like, no, we're gonna make doors. Go buy cheap doors and make them into desks, because.
So my desk is a door.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
I want
there
you guys.
Is.
After we're done recording this, I want you guys to stay on. I'm going to flip my screen around because it's a desktop, and I'm going to show you this situation here. But my desk is a door because it was cheap, and I took spray paint to it. I spray painted it, and then I had a friend of mine who owns a glass company custom frame out a piece of glass top for the desk.
Yep.
Nice.
Little Windex. It's always
Beautiful.
Clean. It's great.
Lots
of
and sleek.
to make a mess, basically.
Ingenuity right there.
Yeah, but I love that Jeff Bezos mentality, and a lot of that came from, like, all the smart stuff basically came from my brother, because he entered the company. I incorporated the company in 2014. he was always away. He's a Marine, as I mentioned to you guys. He was always on deployment, but supporting me from afar, if you will. And by that, I mean, he gave me a credit card for emergencies, and $30,000 later, he's like, how many emergencies have you had? So
many.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it.
Into the company. We are still wholly owned. We've never taken outside dollars. It's just me and him, which is great. But he's really good at the whole planning aspect of running the business. And, you know, he loves Excel spreadsheets. He loves looking at numbers. And if you look at what a third-party logistics company costs for basic things, right? Pick and pack, there's a fee for everything. Oh, you want us to walk over to that part of the warehouse? That's an extra $2 per unit. You know,
how many feet?
Right, exactly. It's not just by weight; it's also going to be by space. So they get their money. Oh, you wanted us to put the packing slip in to the package before we. Yep, that's going to be another 50 cents.
There's a line item for that.
There is a line item for all of that. So we're definitely saving a significant amount. It's with sacrifice, but it's what I am happy to do. So awesome. I can't wait to show you guys. It's great. I also have my cat just randomly walking by.
Oh, what's your cat's name?
Oh, here, I'll say he can say hi. His name is Tommy. He's dead. So, yep.
Tommy.
This is Tom.
What's up, Tom?
That's what my cat would have looked like if I kept it.
Al had a cat for like
if you
5
kept
days.
it.
I had a week and a half, John. Week and a half.
Oh, sorry.
My cat loves podcasts. I think he just likes that, like, there's something happening and he wants to be a part of it. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. Bye.
So Nicole, that's a great visual for where you're at now. Tell us, like, what are the plans to scale the business over the next 5 years? What does that look like?
So we're going into a couple of different new markets, which is really exciting. My end goal is to be acquired. So I've been building this organization with the idea that a company like Nike would see the value in a company that owns a small piece of a very loyal niche market and want to acquire a company in the middle of a sports bra revolution that we are in. You know, there are plenty of women who stopped buying regular bras a while ago and just wear sports bras. So part of our, I guess, scaling model is we will never abandon the CrossFit space because that's what we were born into. And we have a very loyal and active and engaged community in the CrossFit space as well as weightlifting. But we're going into other collegiate sports. We have also plans to do a nursing line for moms, which is really exciting because I think that that's a very underserved market, as well as a Chestee X line that's coming out in September. Chestee X is extra volume, extra support, extra coverage for girls who have extra up top.
Nice. That stems from your elementary school competition where you're like, the marketing is just like oozing out of you.
I mean, that
Nicole
is
Biscuiti, the cutie. Is that what it was? What was it?
Vote for a cutie.
Yeah.
Nicole Biscuiti. I know, it's wild. Really,
it stayed with you. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, and so we're gonna stay small as long as possible. I read a book not a long time ago, but one of my favorite books that I keep rereading is Small Giants. And it's very, I don't know, I think that I take different messages depending on where I'm at in the process of my business from it. Just depends on what, we always hear messages, but we don't necessarily take the message unless we're ready for it, or we take a different message from it. So that's a really interesting piece of it. But one of the things that we do really well that I don't want to lose is we have a very, very close connection to our customer. They feel that they're part of our squad, part of our family, when they're buying into the brand, and they're not just buying, a sports bra. They're buying into this culture, and they, in some ways or a lot of ways, hopefully resonate with what it is that we do. And one of our, core values or mission statements is to really like give women an outlet to feel the best that they can in the best version of themselves in their skin, and give them an opportunity to better their training lives through this premium product. I'm still working on the whole like refurbished mission statement, but that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Oh no, this elaboration is good on this show for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Lay it all out there. That's awesome. I mean, and you're innovating, you got some new products coming out. So you have some good ideas, obviously, because they've grown your business. But one question I'd love to ask is, what's the worst idea you've had in business? And can you tell us what happened?
Oh, that's such a good question. There's so many bad ideas that I've had. Yeah, I've had a lot of them. I'm trying to think of
While you're thinking of that, you can also share the best idea you've had and a story of what happened.
I think my best idea is yet to come. It's going to unveil itself in August.
Oh.
Which, we'll circle back because I don't want to give too much away.
Can you talk about it? Can't talk about it.
Not yet. But the best decision I ever made was to get in my car and drive from Florida to California and back, and stop at every single CrossFit gym that would let me in to talk about the Chestee. And I now have relationships literally all over the US. And there are a lot of gyms that you could ask them if they've ever heard of Chestee, and not only will they say yes, but they'll say, yeah, actually I had Nicole in here. She rolled up in her, at the time it was a Volvo.
Solid.
Then it was a truck, and now it's a Tahoe. It just keeps changing based on need, right? I was in California. I built a booth in my neighbor's driveway in California, and it was so big that her neighbors thought that we were like setting up for a concert in Venice, California. I'm pretty sure the noise ordinance situation here is not going to allow that. But I was building a booth that was like, you step up into it. It's like to look at like an elevated, almost like closet shopping experience. And then I was like, oh shit, I have to take this back to Florida. So then I had to buy a trailer. I'd buy a trailer and haul that thing back. And now the trailer sits at a trailer park where I have to rent a space for that. I'm like, you just don't think of these things.
Just go. Full speed sprint.
You just don't. Yeah, you don't think about them. So I'm just thinking about like there's just so many bad decisions I made that like there's so many to choose from. A small one was just like little designs that you think are going to be popular just because everyone else does it. And then you launch it and you're like, bad idea. That didn't work.
How do you design? Do you design based on your inspiration now, or now do you pull kind of from the market a little bit? Like, how does that process work with you? It's
a combination of those things. I mean, I have a passion for fashion, but I really do. I love fashion. I have a background in fashion, so I come from the space. Even though it was in public relations, I chose to work in that space because it's something that I love. And I work with different athletes. They become our named athletes, and we design each Chestee style. It becomes their namesake, and it's designed for them and for the functionality that they want, for the aesthetic that they are looking for, and all of the small details. And some athletes are very involved, some are not, but they know kind of what they have an idea what they want. So we'll go through this process of, well, like, tell me about your favorite sports bras that you wear now. What do you love? Oh, I love strappies. So, that just means there's lots of straps in the back. They like the crisscross designs and whatnot. And we'll always hand sketch them. And then we come up with a tech pack, which is how you actually build the construction of a garment. Then we take that to one of our factories and we start the sampling process. I think I can turn my computer enough for you to see my sample rack here. Hang on.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Do you see that?
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So those are all my designs on the wall, and that's my sample rack, and this is where I sit. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Works in progress.
yeah. Lots in progress. We always have at least, I would say like 10 to 12 styles in progress, just because we plan pretty far out. And I try to design and release things in like a traditional kind of like seasonal collection, if you will. Doesn't always end up that way. But we try to do it that way. That's one of the things that my brother is really good at. He's the planner. So I'm deep in fabrics and colors and prints, and he's deep in calendars and Excel spreadsheets, which I want nothing to do with. So it's a good partnership.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Our last episode, we had the founders of Iconic. They're a social media built art company, and they are very different. Like to the point where if you go back, and watch it, they were like arguing on camera. It was funny. Like he's the artist. He's the artist mind. Jeff's the artist mind, and Mark is the business mind. And they were just like, you could tell they literally love each other, but like hate each other at the same time. Totally opposite personalities.
I love that. I love hearing that. That's funny.
So you clearly have a lot of fire burning for entrepreneurship, and you were a competitor, so you have that competitive spirit. What keeps that fire burning for you? And do you ever see anything that could put it out?
I think that there's a combination for all entrepreneurs. I do think that there's some sort of like chemical makeup that people are just born with. And I don't have any data to support that statement, but this is just purely based on my opinion and the people that I choose to surround myself with, 90% of whom are entrepreneurs. And we are all very different people. But I think that one of the things that is interesting is that they just have this certain level of grit that is part of their makeup. And I get excited when I hear no for two reasons. Number one, I am now like adding everything that I just heard from that person who told me no into my toolkit for how to best overcome the no. But the real reason I get excited about it is because it means that I'm one step closer to the yes that's coming right around the corner. So keep telling me no, because I'm getting that much closer. And one of my favorite books that I relate that to, have any of you guys read The Alchemist or listened to it?
Oh, yeah. Great
No,
book.
but everyone tells me about it. I haven't.
Well, read it. It'll change your life, or it'll at least just reiterate what you already know. But he basically finds everything that he has been looking for when he is literally almost about to die. And he just didn't give up, because it's like that one. And it's so silly to say that, but he almost gives up, but he doesn't. And then he learns in retrospect that the 2 years that he spent looking for this thing, that was actually like, really, that was the prize. The journey became what he really needed and wanted. But getting back to the people, or I guess the composition of entrepreneurship, I don't think for me there's anything that is going to deter me from this. And I was just having a discussion with my friend who's also an entrepreneur. She's a business and life coach yesterday. And what I said to her is that I really like it when business owners and entrepreneurs think like children. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever been around children, they like to ask why for everything. Literally for everything. I'm going to put my lipstick on now. Why? I need you to get up now. Why? I need you to put your shoes on. Why? Literally, like just like a record. Why? It's like a rap song. But the reason that I love that is for this reason. Now, when my manufacturer's like, we don't know how to do that, we're not going to be able to do that. Why? Right?
Love it.
So I ask better questions. I'm not just going to like accept that we don't know how to do that. Well, why don't you know how to do that? And then they actually tell you the real reason. Oh, because we don't have the right fabric. Okay, well, we can solve that problem. Or we don't have the right threading, or we don't have, this is going to require 7 more days to find the right machine to do this for you. Now that's a real answer, because maybe I am willing to wait another 7 days for you to find the right thing, for you to give me what I just asked you for, right? But if you don't ask why, you never know. And that's, I think, a real separator for people, because there are a lot of people who would hear no and they would just accept it. But I think that, as simple as that kind of concept is, I think it really makes a huge difference in the people that are getting what they want, and the people who are not. Now, the other thing I will add to that, though, is getting what you want doesn't happen sometimes because that's not really what you needed. So if some of the things that I thought I needed or wanted in my business did happen for me, it wouldn't have put me on the right track. Like, if I did get, I don't know, just for example, if I did get on Shark Tank when I auditioned in 2015, maybe I wouldn't be here still running my business, and maybe I would have sold out for way less money than what the business is going to be worth now that I have an additional 6 patents versus what I had in 2015, right?
Yeah.
So there are all these things that you want in the moment that don't happen for you, and you don't know why.
Right. The other thing you mentioned real quick too, I'll add to that, is that you mentioned with like a manufacturer where they're like, no, we can't do this. And you're like, why?
Why?
When we were starting Jackson Jovi, like we had no idea what we were doing, literally no background in fashion at all. And thought we wanted a certain thing, and we made the pattern up and sent it to the manufacturer, and they made it exactly as the pattern said without any like feedback, where they were like, oh, maybe you should do this thing instead.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it came out terrible. It came out like, it looked like it was like cut up and like, anyways. And
there's a couple of things at play there potentially, which is number one, first and foremost, they don't want to disappoint you. So they want to give you exactly what you want, and they don't want you to get mad at them, because if they disappoint you, or if you get mad at them, you might go to someone else. The second thing that could be at play is that they really just didn't know, and they were like, oh, okay, he wants A, let's give him A.
Yeah. I don't know. We found out in hindsight, like he did know, and like the type of person that he was. Yeah. And it was just like, it was a speed thing, right? It was just like, here's a small little client, like, let's just do it. But you mentioned like the whole why part, and we got a lot of yeses anytime we would say anything, and no feedback or no no's.
Oh,
right?
That is so unhelpful.
Yeah.
It's just, I have a chef friend who, she's been on all the shows. She owns a very prominent restaurant in Los Angeles. Like, she's amazing. She cannot stand it when people say, yeah, it was good.
Right.
Just like, give me something.
Yeah.
Give me some. Maybe.
She's like, stop lying to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because but her insatiable need to always be better is why she doesn't want to hear it was good.
Yeah.
Hearing that stuff it's just not helpful. And we even see that with, I read every single review we get, and that's great. Awesome. Give us a 5-star review. Cool. But the 4-star review that tells us why it wasn't a 5 has all the gold in it. Whether it's about the product or the shipping or the process or whatever it is, that's what's giving us the gold to go from good to great. And that is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great book, by the way. Good to great. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Nicole, you've clearly gathered a ton of wisdom and discernment with everything that you've done so far.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
But it sure sounds like it. Trial and error, failure, get up, start all over again. Like, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone that's wanting to launch a business today in the clothing / fitness industry? Like, number one thing, what would you tell them?
The number one thing is to stop planning and to start doing.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's just like, I compare it to like having kids, right? Like no one's ever ready for that. You're just not, because every parent I know has always said like, yeah, we wanted a certain amount in our bank account first, or we wanted to live in the right school district, but like all of those components aren't always going to be there. So what I would say to someone who's wanting to start a business, whether that's in the fitness, activewear space or not, you just need to start. You need to start by doing something and taking some sort of action, because as great as it is to write things down, and I'm a huge proponent of it, what are you really doing if you're just writing shit down for 5 years? You have 5 years worth of journaling. That's awesome to look at, but you need to start taking action.
Absolutely. So a bit ago, you mentioned that you are branching out of the CrossFit space a little bit here and there. And I read that you are now carried in Bloomingdale's in Florida. And that is like, when you just look at the industry, the fitness industry, and then Bloomingdale's decides to carry, your products. What's the story behind that? And is there a long-term strategy with that for you? How did that come about, and where's it going to go?
Yeah. So it came about because, it's always who you know, right? I was the public relations director at Bloomingdale's in the Southeast Florida market for 5 years, and actually still worked there while I had already launched the Chestee. But of course, the Chestee was only costing me money, not making me anything. So I still needed to pay bills. Yeah. So that, I still that. I still love my boss. She's great. Dana was awesome. She was very supportive, and I just maintained all of those relationships. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is we'll have Chestees. We already make Chestees with removable collarbone protection for all of the women who gave us feedback and said, the 4-star reviews, who said, we would love it if you made something with removable, because while it's great, I did power cleans at the gym, but then I'd love to be able to take the padding out, but keep the sports bra on when I'm running around picking up my kids from school or going to the grocery store or whatever, because I don't necessarily need collarbone protection doing those activities. So right. we made some very high fashion. They were extremely fashion forward styles with removable collarbone protection. And that's what we ended up launching for the capsule at Bloomingdale's. And now that's turning into a much bigger thing. And Bloomingdale's, because they're on the forefront of understanding their customer in a very strategic and smart way. They saw and continue to see activewear being a really lucrative opportunity and product segment for them. So they really wanted to tap into that on a local level. And we partnered, and I ended up bringing in 20 models in each of the markets that we launched in. And we did full on fashion shows, like runway fashion shows featuring their activewear paired with my Chestees, head to toe. We had accessories, we had shoes, we had the bags, everything. And we really talked about, activewear, street fashion. And it was great. And we did that in all of our launch markets, which was really exciting. So they really kind of wanted to blend that fashion forward, but gym, everyday activewear woman.
Did you do it in the Bloomingdale's?
Yes.
The fashion show was right inside?
Yes. In That's every awesome. Store. I mean, they had a runway, a DJ, there were microphones, there was makeup happening. It was serious. Yes. It was awesome. Yeah. And then one of my friends so we did this in a bunch of different markets, but in my local market, which the closest store is Bloomingdale's Town Center in Boca Raton, where I have a lot of female athletes. I have a lot of access to them. So these were all my friends who were models. I had to call in all my favors. And one of my friends, Myra, who's a gymnast, walked down the catwalk on her hands. I'm
Ooh,
like
a cat. Nice.
Of course she did.
I'm like, when does this happen? You're
Oh,
welcome.
just her hands.
Just-
oh,
She did a handstand walk on her.
wow.
We're not talking about a bear crawl. We're talking about a handstand walk down and back. It was dope.
That is dope.
Yeah, it was cool. And so for Bloomingdale's, that's like fun. It creates animation and excitement on their selling floor. They were very excited to have kind of like this new consumer in their space. And obviously I was very grateful for the opportunity to be at that level. My stuff's hanging next to like all these other brands. It's cool.
That is cool. And like you said, very different for Bloomingdale's, which has got to be super attractive because it's like nothing they've ever probably done before.
Well, they do a lot of really cool stuff. I think it just depends on the market. We had a DJ in there. It was really fun. It's good.
So for the people that are watching and that will watch this, we've talked about all the padding and the bras and all that stuff, but you do carry men's things. I'm looking at them online. Ass shorts, which I will definitely get.
By the way, I own a pair of those.
Yeah. So I will soon to be own a pair if that's
Summer's coming, Al.
Do not ask us.
Short. So for the guys out there, this is not all about, it's mostly about the chesty and protecting that area. But how did this, in a quick sentence, like, did you get feedback from guys saying like, hey, can you help us protect the fellas as well? Like you help the ladies because we hurt also. And then that was the thing. Or were you just like, you know what? Let's dick around with some sweet material and throw some cool shorts up.
I'm going to tell you exactly.
Pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Pun intended. I will tell you exactly how this came about. Guys were hanging around the Chestee booth with their girlfriends, with their wives, with their teammates, and they were bored as shit because they didn't want, there was nothing for them to shop. They were literally, and that's cool for you, right? They're going next door to whoever our neighbor is. Yeah. Oh, babe, how much time do you need? 15 minutes? Great. I'm going to go get a coffee. I'll be right back. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, don't leave. But of course they're leaving because there's nothing for them.
Yeah.
So that's literally, so I'm like, you know what? I'm making something for the guys. So I made cool shorts.
This is not a protection issue. There's no protective.
That's why I was laughing so hard.
Jerk, like you catch something and it's over.
Okay, I will say.
You thought about it though, haven't you?
Our customers say it all the time.
Okay.
So, yeah, all the time. So now and I will not tell you all of the suggested names, but one of the names that it was suggested for these protective shorts with padding in it, of course, was Chestees.
Okay.
That's not where my mind went, but that's good. The Chestee.
Yeah.
The Chestee. Come on.
I was thinking the Dickie.
Yeah, but we hear the ballsy all the time.
Well, for one of them, it's actually called Junk, right?
There's a brand called Junk.
Yeah, it's on
we
your
actually,
that you
we did a collaboration with them. They make headbands.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, okay, that's not your thing; it's somebody else's. But we're all
we're clever.
In my mind here,
man.
Yeah,
so it's not about protecting it; it's about just style at this point for the guys, right?
It's about style. Yep.
And comfort. They are comfortable.
Sweet style.
Go to
well, now you have good April Fool's material for social media in case you know, right? April 2021. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you. Doing rapid fire?
All right. Now is the time, Nicole. We're going to jump to the audience here, Facebook, YouTube, and we're going to hit some rapid fire questions. So, Rob, what are the rules for rapid fire questions? By the way, put your questions in the comments of wherever you're watching this live. Rob, what are the rules?
All right. So here's the deal. We're going to hit you with questions.
Okay.
Some are for all of us. Some might be just for you, Nicole. 20 seconds, no pressure. Get in, get out. If you get stumped, pass, and we're on to the next question.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right. So this one, first one is in directly for you, Nicole. This is a great question from Marianne. Do you design something for women who have had mastectomies? She's saying that she's sure that there's many women that have issues finding something comfortable. So,
okay, so 20 seconds. We have partnered on a national level with Barbells for Boobs. We have something very specific in the works. However, we have 2 styles that patients who have had mastectomies choose to wear to cover their port, and that is the Brittany and the Tiffany.
Love it.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right. Next one for all of us. Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one you live in? Al.
Nashville.
Oh, that was, wow.
I'm a musician. I mean, it was like, you know.
John?
New York City.
Nicole?
Southern California. I know that's not a city, but all right, Los Angeles, but anywhere on the beach.
The region.
Gotcha. You know, Al, I got to go. I'm with you.
Nashville?
Nashville's a freaking blast.
See you there, bro.
It is a blast.
It is
It
fun.
is a blast. Yes.
All right, next up. What's the best thing that happened to you this month, John?
Good Monster, my marketing agency, has grown incredibly.
Al?
My unemployment kicked in.
Nicole?
I joined an online training community where I only need dumbbells to train.
Did you say only need or only meat?
Need.
Oh, I only need dumbbells. Need. It's so
Need.
easy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, best thing for me is we've been super blessed with the guests coming on the live show. So it's been awesome. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's nice of
Next
you.
up. Okay.
I would cue
Yes. Question here from Lindsay. Do you have any future products for guys, Nicole?
Yes, we have been beta testing an actual Chestee version of a shirt with Rich Froning Jr. I made this for him several years ago, and we're just not sure how and when this will be distributed to market, but we've been beta testing it with many Masters athletes.
Awesome.
Solid.
Next question. What's your best selling item?
Our best-selling item is the Tiffany style. It's like the little black dress. We sell that 5 to 1. People love it because it is high impact and it has the strappies in the back.
Yep.
And it has just a little, the guys call it the boob window, but it has just a little bit of power mesh in the front for a nice little.
Saw
Well-
that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see you. I see you.
Can
Yeah,
I
thank you.
add
Yeah.
something to a
Sure.
previous question?
Hey.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Another great thing that has happened to me this month is I got this awesome ring light on Amazon for $12, and it has 7 different light colors. Look at this complexition. I
Your
mean,
color is
The
fantastic.
lighting is spot on.
I barely had to put on foundation tonight.
Spot on.
Boom. $12 ring
That's what
light.
Al said with the purple highlights.
Well, the contract, folks. You know what I mean? It's about contract. And
Al, people know your purple. People know your purple uplights more than they actually know you.
I know.
I think.
Everyone
Yeah.
comments about
Especially from the
purple
street.
upright.
Yeah,
A lot of comments, a lot of questions. The mystery thing. I like
you're the
it.
purple uplight
It's a
guy.
mystery
It
thing.
matches our theme. Our whole brand is like purple and pink. It matches.
It does. It
Matchy,
coordinates
matchy.
very well.
So
All right, here's a fantastic question from B for all of us. I'm going to start with Al.
Oh shoot.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to speak to animals?
Every language in the world. No question about it.
John?
Yeah, every language in the world. I don't like that answer by me, but I would go with it.
Nicole?
I get 20 seconds, right? So the reason is I have to give a reason. The reason would be because it would be much more beneficial for me as a person and my businesses than talking to animals, unless I would have become a pet, whatever. But my heart says like animals.
Nicole?
I'd rather speak every language in the world.
See, I'm going with
then you
animals
couldn't-
because I can get a translator to come with me
No.
to do that, and then I got both.
Where are you going with this? Where you're going to talk to the animals? Unless you're going to become a vet.
Have you seen the new Dr. Dolittle movie?
No.
I was
Come
going
on.
to say, if he's the only person that can actually talk to animals, like that's a pretty big business right there, all in itself.
Okay.
And I'm one for four here.
Didn't even think of that.
But if you spoke every language in the world, then you can make money being the translator. So
Exactly.
Wait,
Yeah.
if you can speak every language in the world, can you speak to animals also?
oh, because that is the language.
Oh, John! Wow.
John.
If you had a mic in front of you, you should drop it, but you don't. Drop a
Oh
pen.
boy.
But the
I
good
wish
news
I
is
had my mic.
Nicole likes hearing the word no from her clients. So pretty much every language, no is the same, right? I can't. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know when you're
no.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. You can really, even without this gift, you can still attack global
Right. I have a global understanding of certain.
global reach. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
here's one for Al, and it's not from your mom.
Ugh. I hate
Now,
this.
Nicole, because you may not know this, but Al is a super talented musician. He plays the sax amongst many other instruments, and we try to get him on and play all the time, but he keeps refusing.
Because it's weird.
So, Al, here's the question.
Not weird. That's a really good skill to have.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
just
do it.
That's what we keep telling him.
It's benefited me. It's been good. All right. What's
Al,
the question?
here's the question. How will you grow your music performance business post-COVID, both as a band and personally?
What I'll probably do is I will try to leverage my skill set in business and organization and booking jobs and getting things. And I'll probably try to help other musicians recover from this and kind of do the heavy lifting, no pun intended, do the heavy lifting for them because, you know, they're super, super talented cats, but a lot of them have no sense of how to run their talent as a business. And I've become good at that over the years and really learning how to run it like a business because it is a business at the end of the day. Entertainment industry is a business. So I'll probably offer a service to musicians to help them recover and then take a cut and do the things that, you know, business people do.
Great answer. All right, Jane Sampson wants to know from each of us, which marketing technique do you find to be the most effective? Like, what techniques have we found to be the most effective on social media to retain customers, etc.? So, Nicole, let's start with you.
Okay, so that is to me, that's a broad question because there are so many things that go into marketing. But in the spirit of keeping under 20 seconds, I will say that video has been extremely beneficial to us. Our customers really engage with video, both on ads that we run as well as just social media posts. And it allows us to tell a story in a very short amount of time, which we love.
Good. Al?
Oh gosh, there's a lot there. I'm going to pass on this one. Come back to me.
John?
So I would just say content and brand because that's not a technique, but like, again, you guys know that's my world. And like, there's a million techniques. Nicole, you just said it. Like, there's so many, but there's one thing that trumps every hack and technique and everything that's out there. And that is your brand, like what people feel. So the only way to communicate that, whether it's through paid media, whether it's through organic, whether it's through like Nicole telling somebody, is like the brand message that you have. So I would say making sure you have a brand message that is easily communicated and duplicatable. Is that a word? Duplicatable across video, images, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The best example would be Nike Just Do It, right? Like that's communicated everywhere. And it's probably one of the greatest brands in the world in terms of history. So build your brand.
All right, so Lindsay's harassing us on the 22nd timeline here. So Nicole's crushing it, and the rest of us are failing miserably because we're men.
She's saying that because I can't stop talking. That's my wife, Lindsay. Nicole, you know Lindsay.
So
I know her, and of course, I know she's your wife.
So for me, it's a crossover between personal interaction, networking face to face, utilizing those relationships, and then punching in on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and meshing it all together, and most of all being consistent. I was talking with a client tonight. I'm like, if you can't commit to being consistent with this, don't even start, because you won't win. All right,
Yeah.
next question.
We got one more.
All right, one more for all of us. Short answer. One place you've never been that you want to visit, John.
One place I've never been that I want to visit, Brazil.
We're gonna make that happen.
It's definitely gonna happen.
This is for the Italians in the room. Italy.
Nicole, how about you?
I go to Hungary.
Hungry. I didn't see that coming.
I know. Well, honestly, I have a huge map next to my desk on the other side, and it's all the places that I need to go worldwide. And I'm a traveler, so I haven't been there.
New Zealand.
Wow.
Ooh.
Can I add one?
Of course.
Of course. There's no rules on this podcast.
Same rules. It's your podcast. I'm like, of course you can add.
Nicole, can I please add one?
It's now Nicole's podcast. She actually just took it just now.
Thank you guys for being on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah. See you later.
This was a
Somehow
merger
she hit
position.
and we are all gone, and it's her.
What is it, Al?
What is it?
I kind of want to go to Chicago. I don't.
You've never been to Chicago?
I've been to Chicago. I swear. And I
Okay, you live way too close to Chicago to have not been there.
Not go.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So that's all.
All right. When quarantine's over, we'll find a Chicagoan guest and we'll go and interview them like live in Chicago.
Yes.
All right,
There we
because
go.
there's no rules, I got one more question. It's a good one from John
okay.
Matthews. Okay, ready?
Okay.
For all four of us. John wants to know the biggest failure setback that you converted to a win. Great question, John.
Oof, this is not a 20-second.
Yeah.
No, this is the last question, so we're going to break the 20-second rule because there's a lot of value in this. So
Do it in 20 seconds.
Read it one more time,
Yep.
please.
So John Matthews, he wants to know biggest failure or setback that you converted to a win.
All right, I'm going to go while all y'all think about it, and I'm going to try to do
She's
this.
got it. Here it is.
Go.
Boom.
Hit it.
I had to file bankruptcy. My brother had to give me the money to pay my judgment against me. And as part of that, that was part of his buy-in to my business, which we were planning all along anyway. So what I got out of it was a strategic partner. I got, obviously, that's long gone. And I got an amazing opportunity to grow out of an extremely challenging and uncomfortable time, because the best growth comes from the hardships. So that was it for me.
It's always darkest
Al?
before the dawn, right?
That's right.
Breaking through the walls.
I'm going to go with a recent and relevant one for both of you. Is when we signed, we had a big plan in mind of how we were going to get this conference off the ground and book this $150,000 speaker without even $150,000 combined. And we had this big elaborate plan. We pitched it. They were like, "No, fuck that. That's not going to happen. That's not how this works." And they gave us like 2 weeks to come up with a pretty large sum of money. And we were like, we were in a position where we could not, it's an offer you can't refuse. Like we couldn't say no. It was a point where like you have to say yes and then say, "Oh shit, well, how are we going to do this after you hang up?" Like, "Thanks, I'm glad we could work together." And then you like go freak out. That was, I think, the biggest. It wasn't even a failure, but it was like oh shit. In 2 weeks, we had to make something happen with no plan, and we did. So that's my thing.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Amen.
Cheers to that.
John.
I couldn't pinpoint like one failure that automatically turned into a success, but I had one business early on. It was my first business that was an online personal training company when I was a strength and conditioning coach, and spent a lot of money on that, building the website, doing the whole thing. And then the recession hit in 2008, right? 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And that failed, right? Like clients started going away, drying up, memberships, all that kind of stuff. And I decided to move back home from where I was in Richmond, Virginia. And that business literally just like it like went away, you know, like I didn't really sell it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was young. And so that led me to coming back to Syracuse, getting a job, and then being bored as shit at that job and starting a YouTube channel, like just for fun to create stuff while I was bored at my job. And then that turned into, you know, what is the most successful thing professionally that I'm doing these days, which is Good Monster, my marketing agency.
Amen.
That's awesome.
All right. So
Rob, close us out.
Try to make this the condensed version of this. So owned a company, came into a position in my life where I decided to sell the business. Figured it was going to be way more than what it was. Found out that it was only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, which was 5 cents on the dollar. So sell the business. To replace that, I had to take on 3 jobs. Was newly married. I would travel to 2 of the jobs 35 minutes from home. Would sleep in a closet in an office with a blow-up mattress and a pillow and a blanket for 4 to 5 hours in between the 2 jobs. Worked overnight at a convenience store by myself because those were the rules. Thank goodness the police officers got free coffee and soda because that was really the only protection. And then I would go to the 3rd job in the morning, start it all over, and none of those had any long-term benefits coming from it. It was a position in life, and this was only 12 years ago. And so it was the most humbling time in my life, but I wouldn't trade any of that for the world because that was a rebuilding phase. And from there to where we are today, you know, if that had not have happened, I wouldn't be where I am today. So.
And now he's Coach Rob, who keeps Al and I from fucking flying off the rails and out of control. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. And Nicole, cheers to you. Cheers to Chestee. You know, we met at the events we were doing, and you are a complete gem and doll. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was very delightful. Before we leave, tell our audience, tell us where, if they want to contact you for business advice or other, you know, podcasts or whatever, where should they contact you? And then 2, what do you want them to know about something Chestee's doing or coming or anything that you're doing?
So I'm very, very proud to have a staff of, outside of my brother and Petro, a staff completely of women. So it's one of the things that really drives me. We're about supporting women, celebrating female strength. And I have a very exciting kind of web-based event that's taking place in August that we will be announcing shortly. It's going to be freaking awesome. And they can get in touch with me at thechestee.com. They can email us at hello@thechestee.com. They can send us a DM at thechestee. Jen checks the DMs, but she does make sure she sorts everything appropriately. So we do get the messages that are intended for us. Jen's great. Jen's a mom. She does all of our customer service, all of our social media DMs, which are plenty. And she's able to do it with a toddler running around. So it's incredible.
How many DMs a day do you get? Ballpark.
80.
80. Ooh.
And then she has the emails.
Mm.
And then she
Jen,
had
can we do another cheers to Jen?
Full-time job. Here's
Cheers.
to you, Jen.
Cheers
Yeah.
to Jen.
I know. Cheers to Jen. Wait, then she has the chats on our chat bubble.
Chat,
Then-
right?
Oh,
Then she has the phone calls.
have you guys ever seen the GIF of the cat like hands on the keyboard?
Jen.
That's Jen. Yeah, no doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking
Exactly.
Awesome.
And let's
Well-
hope that Jen gets the calls and the chats, because my brother had to answer a chat yesterday. And this was a woman who really just wanted to get into it about her cup size and her size. I'm sure my brother was just dripping sweat having this conversation. Poor guy.
Scott's like, somebody answer. Somebody? Anybody?
He's like phoning a friend. Anybody pick up?
He just say to her, like, listen, lady, I'm gonna get Jen. Hold tight. Like, I am not the guy.
She didn't mind at all. And actually on our website, when you're chatting with us, it has a photo
Of
of us,
Jen.
the name of the person.
Oh.
She's good with who she
All
is.
right.
She's like, I'm just gonna let you know this is what I'm looking for.
There it is.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Nicole. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks. It's so nice to meet everyone as well. John, thanks. Nice to see you again. Take
Yeah,
care.
you too. Cheers.
We're gonna hang on for the private tour afterwards. So
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, Nicole. That was awesome.
That was
She's great. She's fantastic. She is an entrepreneur through and through. So super excited to have her on. Oh man, I'm a little buzzed. Like, I know that's the name of the show, but
Well,
I actually-
we always get a little buzzed
I haven't though. That's the thing. Like, I haven't
live.
yet on any of the shows. No,
Every
I
single
swear.
show I've gotten buzzed.
I swear I haven't. But tonight,
You gotta drink more, pal.
yeah, I'm not following the rules. Wait, there are no rules. So
switch to bourbon.
yeah, Rob,
So
you
just
we would lose the host of the show. You guys would inherently become the host.
FYI,
Hey.
that music you just heard is off the Chestee website in their video section, because I'm the king of tech. I pulled it.
Oh, ITL.
I
We'll
pulled
call
that.
him.
I'm gonna get
Good job.
for 20.
Cheer. We'll just
Cheers.
keep cheersing. Cheers
Yeah.
to you.
Cheers to you, Al.
Cheers to you. Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Another great show.
Yeah. So Sunday is our wild card show. Every week we have a Sunday evening wild card show to kick off your week or end your week, depending on what it is, with some fun, some laughter, some shenanigans. We usually give away free shit. It's just a great Sunday evening kind of wind down from the week. So this Sunday we have a special Memorial Day episode that we'll be doing. So tune in Sunday, 8:30 p.m. YouTube Live, Facebook Live. We're still working on the LinkedIn Live. Hopefully we get that coming up soon, but right now, yeah, we'll get there. Facebook and YouTube. Tune in. The links will be available a little sooner, Al, maybe, so you can get notified when the episode goes live.
Yes.
Probably we'll say Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll be ready to go. So tune in. And as always, if you're listening to this on your podcasting platform, hit the subscribe button. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify,
Oof.
Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud. We're all over the
Yeah.
place.
On Spotify,
All over.
right after Joe Rogan, ranked number
Joe-
two.
everywhere.
Yeah. By the way, did you guys hear that?
That's freaking nuts.
Did you?
No surprise though.
Quick side note. Oh, I told you guys about the Gary Vaynerchuk thing, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Did.
Okay. So for the viewers out there, the viewers or the listeners out there, our keynote speaker, Gary Vaynerchuk, awesome dude, gonna bring it for sure. Like a year ago, called this exact thing out. Like, he's like, just wait. Somebody like Joe Rogan
Predicted it.
is going to get like a giant $300 million deal, which I don't know how much it was for, but $300 million deal to be exclusive on one of the platforms like Spotify. Wouldn't you know? Like a week ago, not even
Boom.
that exact thing happened. So
Happened.
if you don't have tickets for NoBull 2020, you should probably get them to come see Gary talk
I would get
because
them
the dude's a rock star.
for sure.
Any last words, fellas?
No, I just want to cue the Chestee music again.
Okay, then
All
I'll
right,
get I'll get it going. So, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe everywhere. We love you. Cheers to everyone. We'll see you Sunday night.
Ciao.
Boom.